Howdy, fella.
Sorry, pal. Monastery's closed. Till further notice.
Oh, gee, well, ain't that just my luck?
Yeah, ain't it?
And my two pretty sisters here are so looking forward to seeing the monastery.
Life's full of disappointments.
Sure seems that way. And the monastery's definitely up there, huh?
It is, but it'll still be there tomorrow.
Oh, we fly back to Austin tonight.
Well, isn't that a shame?
So why's the place closed?
VIP visitors.
Wow, that's exciting. Which VIPs?
A foreign prince.
The Prince of where?
Yeah, that's the one.
Wow!
So we can't let normal folk in.
Oh, of course not. No, not if the Prince of where is there. Hi there, buddy.
Sorry, we got a virus loose. Whole place is locked down.
A virus? Oh my God. Ain't nothing worse than a VIP with a virus.
I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here.
Howdy. Is this the way up to the monastery?
Yeah, but it's shut. No one allowed in. The monks they're on strike.
Wow. What happened? Someone make 'em work ungodly hours?
Nah, I don't think that was the problem.
But why was the prince allowed in then?
I don't know. Stop asking me questions.
The place is closed.
I seriously doubt those guards belong here.
I know.
You want to try turning on the charm?
I'll try. What is she doing?
Nico usually gets what she wants. If anyone can charm those guys, it's her. What did he say?
He suggested I do something. I told him it was anatomically impossible.
I'm sure they're Gainan's men.
I agree.
I can't get my head around him being a Gainan. I'm gonna stick with Langham.
Good idea, George.
We need to find another way then. Let me have a look around. We're moving away from the monastery.
Yes, but with those goons in the way, we have to find a different approach.
Maybe there's some other way around, via the cable car station?
Or at least someone in there can tell us what's going on. Someone's coming out. Quick, we need to hide. I think it's Langham.
Block everything off. Lock the whole place down, understand? The tabula's got to be up in the monastery, I'm sure of it. Come on.
Yes, boss.
Close all the routes up to the monastery, and then make the old man talk.
Yes, boss.
This time, don't be so gentle with him.
Did you hear that? They haven't found it yet, but Senor Marquez must be in a bad way.
Listen, I have to follow those bastardos. I might be able to slip through on my own.
Sure. We'll see if we can find another way up. You think she'll be okay?
Eva can handle herself.
It was locked. There was a keypad, but I didn't know the code. Something inside the cable car was glinting. I couldn't make out what it was. My God! Nico!
What is it?
This telescope! It's free! There were a couple of people stuck in the cable car. They looked kind of familiar. Then I realized it was my old friends Dwayne and Pearl Henderson. The Hendersons had an uncanny way of showing up wherever I went. They didn't know I'd seen them. I needed to give them a signal. I signaled them back. I wasn't sure they'd seen it. Pearl was mouthing something and gesturing. Pearl seemed to be writing something on the window. It said, "Help, stuck. Door code 0797. I wondered how Pearl came to know that. I idly wondered whether there was more to find by looking at the scenery. Wait, what's that? That rock looks familiar. Nico, take a look at this and tell me what you see.
You're right. That rock looks like a head.
I've seen that shape before. Take a look at this. The face in the Ouroboros, it's exactly the same shape as that rock.
That can't be a coincidence.
And you know what? Langham's got the forged picture, the one without the face.
So the rock won't have meant anything to him.
Nico, I don't think the tabula's up at the monastery. I think it's down there somewhere, around that rock. Come on, Nico. Pearl's giving me the code to the door.
What? Pearl? Who? How?
Trust me, Nico. I've got friends in low-hanging places. Huh. There's no one here.
Looks like everything has been shut down.
Help!
A metal lunchbox. Someone sure wanted to keep their cheese safe.
Hey, is anybody there?
Whoa! Did you hear that?
We're stuck in here. Help!
How about that, Nico? A talking lunchbox. Huh. What will they think of next? I better take it with me. A talking lunchbox. Locked. With no key, I was going to have to find a way to break into it. The box was now wedged in the cogs, or rather, the giant can opener. The control panel looked complicated. It wasn't powered up, and the smell of burnt electrical components hung ominously in the air.
That's quite a mess you've made there, George.
You know what they say about making omelets, Nico?
You can't make them without strawberry jam?
Just as I thought, it's a two-way radio.
Can anyone hear me?
Dwayne, this is George. George Stobart.
Holy cow, George, just the fella I need. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Dwayne, and don't you worry. I'll have you out of there in a minute.
You reckon you can get the cable car running again?
No, the console isn't working properly. I've got no idea why not.
George, this is Pearl. Get Kat to help you. She knows everything about that place.
Cat?
The cable car operator. I'm sure she's there somewhere. Find her.
This place is too quiet.
We should look around. What was Langholm doing in here?
The cable cars were scheduled to run all day. There was no lock, but the door wouldn't open.
Go away!
Hello?
George? There's someone in there.
Are you all right in there?
Just go away!
Cat? I found you a friendly voice.
How do you know my name?
Kat, dear, it's me, Pearl.
Pearl? How did you get here? That's not possible.
Listen, darling, it really is me. But I'm talking on the radio. George here is a very decent guy, and you should open the door.
I'm not going to fall for that. Prove it's you.
All right. Remember we discovered we both love musicals?
Yeah? And my favourite one is?
How does it go now? Help me out. I am the very model of a modern major general.
Of information, vegetable, animal and mineral.
I know the kings of England and I quote the fights historical.
From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very good in integral and differential calculus.
I know the scientific names of beings and of calculus.
In short, it matters vegetable, animal and mineral.
I am the very model of a modern major general.
All right, only Pearl would know that, and I trust her. Who are you?
I'm George, and this is Nico. How did you end up in a closet?
There were some guys with guns. They took over the whole station. I hid in here.
We're trying to avoid them too.
I was quite surprised, you know. They never mentioned guns at the job interview.
Really? We need to use the cable car. Can you operate it?
Yeah, if the console was working, but they sabotaged it.
And there's no way to get it started?
There might be. Let me see. See that burned out fuse down there?
In the back by the prongs?
Yeah. The idiots stuck a spanner in there and blew the fuse. They wanted to make sure no one could use the cable cars. Connect those two prongs somehow, and the console should restart.
How on earth are we going to reach that?
I don't know, but don't stick your arm in there. You'll get fried.
Hi, it's Cat, isn't it?
Yeah, Cat D.
Catty. And you run the station?
No, this is just a summer job.
So, what do you do when you aren't locked in cupboards?
I'm a designer.
Oh, I knew a designer once. She...
George, we're in a bit of a hurry here.
Of course. I was just curious about Cat.
Yes, I bet.
How do you know Pearl?
She and Dwayne came through here this morning.
You seem like old friends.
I know. It's almost as if I'd seen her before.
So, what's down there?
There's a little chapel called Santa Cova.
Did those guys go down there too?
Nah, I think they settled for closing down the cable cars.
Do you like cockroaches?
No, definitely not.
This is Trevor. He's very cute.
Please don't let him out.
Well, I'd done stranger things in my life. The paperclip was now all sticky. Time for Trevor. I put his matchbox down. I stuck the paperclip onto Trevor's back. He was now fully equipped. Go, Trevor, go! Poor Trevor looked like he needed therapy, but the console was working. The console, it's working.
Cool. I can send you down there if you want. Let me just bring the cable car up here.
Pearl and Dwayne are going to be mighty relieved.
Oh, they must have been going down in the other cable car.
Come on, Nico. There's no time to lose. As we got closer to the face in the rock, I knew for sure that we were on the right track. It was definitely the same as the face in the painting, but with one difference. The symbol of the tabula was missing from the rock formation. Well, here we are.
But no way to reach the face. Let's have a look around. There must be a way up. There had to be a way to get to that rock face. Have you spotted a route yet?
No, it looks like a pretty treacherous climb.
I'll keep looking. There must be another way. George, the chapel looks like it's been built right into the rock.
You're right. We should take a look inside.
I wonder, how old do you think the chapel is?
I'm guessing the exterior's a couple of 100 years old, but the inside? Who knows? Some parts could be much older.
You think somehow this chapel might be connected to the face in the rock?
At a guess, I would say so. Hey, look! It's Pearl and Dwayne.
Come on, honey bun. Things ain't that bad.
You just don't understand. Today's been a disaster.
But
The monastery was closed. We got stuck in the cable car. And now this place is a building site.
aw, sweetie pie.
This was supposed to be the spiritual highlight of our trip, Dwayne. But the only spirit I see is that rotten turpentine over there.
Aw, heck.
Clearly, the Hendersons weren't having a great vacation. Wood shavings. This was one building site that needed Mr. Tidy. They smelt exotic. Great to see you again, Mr. Henderson.
Great to see you too, George. Great work back there with the cable car.
Is Pearl okay?
I wish. I'm afraid we're having one of those days where everything goes wrong.
Tell me about it. What have you been up to since we last met in Quaramonte?
Well, there was that little sideshow in Rome, but we can't talk about that. You know why, George.
I do? I do.
Why?
Top secret.
Need to know, Nico. Dwayne is, snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No way, honey. A snoozer's at least 2 pay grades up from a sleeper. So I hear. Anyway, I don't believe I've had the pleasure, Miss,
Nicole Collar. Call me Nico.
Well, how's about that? So this is the beautiful Nico. No wonder you've been hiding her away from me, Georgie boy.
Gosh, no,
It's lovely to finally meet you too, Mr. Henderson. George has told me so much about you.
Oh, call me Dwayne, my dear. And let me assure you of one thing. Everything you've heard is quite possibly true.
Dwayne was loud, large, and short-sighted, but boy was he a charmer. Is there anything we can do for Pearl?
I sure as hell hope so, George. She's been planning and researching this trip for years. Our little pilgrimage. And Santa Cova Chapel here was the cherry on the cake. Not a thing she don't know about this place. Madonna, blah, blah, blah. Chapel built in, yada, yada, yada. She's Santa Cova's very own walking encyclopedia. Well, weeping encyclopedia, I should say.
So what brings you to Santa Cova?
Pearl's idea from the get-go. Ever since the unfortunate car accident back home, she's been scouring those pilgrimage brochures. Gotta be full of wonder and life-changing imagery. Got to have penance potential. Got to offer a real spiritual experience.
Well, I'm sure this place will be very spiritual once it's finished.
If the chapel is not what she expected, how about the monastery?
Hot dog, no. That place is for tourists, not pilgrims.
You said she expected a spiritual experience?
No, that's what the brochure promised. Pilgrimages, little monk fellas, singing, shafts of light, the whole shebang.
Smells, bells, and heavenly lights.
Yeah, that's what the lady wanted. Oh, excuse me, Pearl needs me. There, dear.
Pearl could be a mine of information about the chapel, if we could just cheer her up. Nico? So what did you mean by smells, bells, and heavenly lights?
I'm talking about the authentic church experience.
Oh, I see. Smells, bells, and heavenly lights. A paint can was hanging from a piece of wood. It looked just like its neighbor. The scaffolding was a little loose. Everything rattled. It made a surprisingly dulcet noise. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
Hey, that tune you were whistling earlier, it sounded familiar.
Oh, it's Schubert's Ave Maria. In our courting days, me and Pearl used to hang out with the Campanology Society. It was Pearl's favorite.
Did you see the Black Madonna?
Oh, you betcha. She's the little lady we came to see, though Pearl's in too much of a state to even look at her. Oh, excuse me, Pearl needs me. There, dear.
It produced a dull sound when I rapped my knuckle against it. I poured the turpentine into the paint can. It produced a dull sound. The hammer produced a promising sound. An F sharp.
What are you up to?
Look! I made a Churchenspiel. G. F sharp. G. B, if I wasn't mistaken. That sounded like an A. G. I had it. It was the tune Dwayne was humming.
George, that's Ave Maria. Let me have a go.
Wow, you really nailed that, Nico.
Yep, this mop really is pretty special. Leave this to me.
My mother always said cleanliness is next to godliness. An empty, coffee-stained mug had been left by the altar. I put the shavings in the mug. I lit the shavings. They smelled not completely unlike sandalwood. The shavings were slowly burning inside the mug. Well, that was fun. It was a selection of tools. I lit the candles on the candelabra. There were some ashes at the bottom of the mug. For a second, I pondered my own mortality. But there's a time and a place, and this wasn't it. It produced a dull sound. That was almost a great idea. Almost. That wouldn't work. Nico? Got any ideas for smells?
Have you found any incense? Church smells don't get much more authentic than incense.
A statue of the Madonna and Child watched over the chapel. There were some ashes at the bottom of the mug. For a second, I pondered my own mortality. But there's a time and a place, and this wasn't it. I sprayed the shavings with Brett. Delightful. That was never going to work. I put the scented shavings in the mug. I lit the scented shavings. A sweet aroma started to fill the room. It was a beautiful, antique fire hazard. The candelabra lit up the room, but it sure wasn't heavenly yet. I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra. I secured the mirror in place with some yarn. Now that was something. The light from the candelabra spilled over the Black Madonna like waves of spiritual goodness in candle form. Pearl.
She doesn't want to be disturbed.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
How's Pearl doing?
She's still pretty upset. Something feels different, though. Is the Madonna watching us?
Just a trick of the light.
That's what they want you to think.
How you holding up?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. Pearl, on the other hand.
What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, Pearl's the expert, not me. She knows everything there is to know about this chapel.
What were you whistling again?
No, it's Schubert's Ave Maria. Oh, excuse me. Pearl needs me. There, dear.
Candles could be heavenly. But Pearl had already claimed this little oasis of spirituality as her own. I needed something more striking to get her attention. Hey, Nico. Poor Pearl.
She's in quite a state. If we're going to find the tabula, her knowledge is key.
So, all our hopes are pinned on an American tourist.
I pin my hopes on an American tourist all the time.
Any suggestions for bells?
I'm stuck on that one too. But did you notice Dwayne is whistling something to Pearl?
Is that Ave Maria?
Yes, that's it.
Why don't you sing it, Nico?
Over my dead body.
What do you think of the incense?
Smells familiar?
Just like church?
Not quite, but it'll do.
How do you like my lights, Nico?
They look heavenly, George.
I found a statue over there. A black Madonna.
Great! What did you find out about it?
That's all I got.
Well, it's not a lot to go on.
Any idea how old the chapel is?
That's what I asked you.
So, we basically don't know anything.
That's the long and short of it, George.
The hammer produced a promising sound. G. F sharp. G. B. A. G. I had it. It was the tune Dwayne was humming.
George, that's Ave Maria. Let me have a go.
Wow, you really nailed that, Nico.
Yep, this mop really is pretty special. Leave this to me.
Pumpkin? Oh my!
What?
The sound of angels, the lights of heaven, the smell of piety, and...
Yes?
the Madonna, I do believe. Tears. She's crying, Dwayne. The Madonna's crying. Little Timmy. Wrong side of the road. Not my fault. The broken leg. Compensation claim. Forgive me, poor Timmy.
Oh, Pearl, my precious, you're such a sensitive soul.
Well, now that's done. I feel my soul's floating on air. We can get on with our pilgrimage, Dwayne.
Just another 1,000 clicks to go.
Pearl was back to her usual cheery self. Mrs. Henderson,
George, dear boy.
how you feeling?
Oh, just fine, thank you. I have just seen a miracle, George. It's all gonna be all right from now.
I'm sure it is, Mrs. Henderson. I'm sure it is. Pearl, does this mean anything to you?
Oh, nothing, dear. Apart from the obvious Gnostic connotations, of course.
What?
You know, the Dominicans. All those Gnostic saints. Doubting Thomas, Judas, and you see the woman in the red cloak? The infamous Mary Magdalene herself.
A lady in red.
That's enough now, Dwayne. You know my feelings about her.
Pearl knew her Gnostic onions, all right.
Then there's the Ouroboros, of course.
Something special about it?
Well, if I remember rightly, there was an Ouroboros right here in this chapel. Back in the 30s and 40s, the chapel was renovated. The workmen uncovered numerous symbols carved in the rock. Amongst them was a fine Ouroboros.
But that's amazing. So, where is it?
Oh, it's not there now.
Oh.
It was considered blasphemous, so they plastered over it. Sweetheart, I think it's time for us to go. The road to enlightenment waits for no woman.
'Tis the pilgrim's lot, George.
It was so nice to see you again. And meet your girlfriend.
Will not?
Take this radio, Nico. Never know when you might need it. Keep an eye on our boy George here.
Poor little lost lamb.
I'm not...
Don't worry, this little lamb's in safe hands. Bon voyage.
Bye-bye, dears.
See ya! Nico, don't even start.
Little lamb?
Let's focus on the task in hand, shall we? Okay, this Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned.
You're right. We need to find it.
Nico?
Let's find the Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned.
The wall here was made of bare rock. It looked like the chapel had been built right into it. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. There was a recess in the wall with a Latin word carved above it. Puritas, purity. I'd seen that word before somewhere. I placed a candle in the recess above which Puritas had been carved. I thought I'd heard a faint click. Ex igne puritas. Through fire, purity. I couldn't see anything unusual about it. I hoped this was the right thing to do. Hey, Nico, I found the Ouroboros.
Good job, George.
Pearl was right. The plaster had covered an Ouroboros. I knew it. Another secret passageway.
Amazing, George. How did you do it?
Just another case of the old Stobart magic, I guess, Nico. It looks a little dark in there.
Are you scared, George?
Of course not. Just worried about you tripping, that's all. Whoa, this is one dark cave.
It's the door that worries me, George.
Well, I'm sure the door will open again if we give it a minute. No need to panic. Now we panic. Help! I gotta say, Nico, you're pretty calm about this.
Traveling with you, George, I've got used to this kind of thing. If I panicked every time a door shut behind us, probably forever, well...
You're right. What was I thinking? You see if you can get the door open, and I'll go check out the dark, evil-smelling cave. Fumbling around in the dark wasn't going to be fun. But heck, I'd spent a lifetime doing it, so what was new? The thing had branches like a tree. It was a flat surface like stone. It was stone with a recess in it and, an oily liquid in it. There was some kind of thin twine in the middle of it too. Hey, Nico, I think I found some light. Whoa.
It must be Genan. Ramon said he disappeared while searching the mountains for the tabula.
So this is where he ended up, dead in a cave. And on closer inspection, I'd even say blown your own brains out dead.
Okay, George, I get the point. What is this place?
Who knows? But look at the Gnostic symbols.
You're right. The colors, the trees. But who is she?
It looks like the Virgin Mary, but I don't think it is.
What do you mean?
The red robes and that whole off-the-shoulder look? It must be Mary Magdalene, of course. Marquez told me that the Gnostics revered her. This place, it's some kind of Gnostic shrine.
There's got to be something to release that door. Maybe amongst these carvings.
But if it was that obvious, don't you think Genan would have found it? A group of figures looked up towards the tabula. They were all colored red. I'd seen something like it before. A large carving of the tabula veritatis symbol. All the other figures in the scene seemed to be supplicating themselves to it. The carved figure had once been green. I wondered if it was a representation of Jehovah. Getting up close and personal to Ganon's leathery corpse wasn't pleasant, but we had to figure out how to get out of there. Ganon had certainly been busy before he blew his brains out. I wonder what he'd been up to. I picked up the old gun. It was too corroded and rusty to ever be fired again. It was a fedora, just like the one in Ganon's trunk back at the Castel. The years hadn't been kind to it. It had to be Ganon, in which case the body had been there for decades. There was a bullet hole in the side of his head. Just like us, he'd been trapped. He'd chosen suicide. I prized the map out from under the arm of the corpse. It looked like Ganon had scrawled some kind of last testament onto this map. My friends, I know that you will eventually find me, but by then it will be too late. I have decoded the tabula, and I know our destiny lies in paradise. The key to the power of God is in our hands. I die secure in the knowledge that you will now be able to complete my work. Tell my family that I died doing my duty, that I surrender my life gladly to the cause. In the light of the day, these words will fade, like our souls. But rest assured that when they do, their echoes will guide us to where we will meet once again. I'm not sure, but it looks like crafty old Ganon left a secret message in his testament. Ex luce veritas. Out of light, truth. I'd seen the same words on the fresco at Castel des Sants. It was an old flashlight. It looked like it died around the same time as Ganon. It was an old water canteen. The contents had long since been drunk. When I held the map up to the flame, something started to change. The writing on the map started to react to the heat. Well, I'll be darned.
What is it?
Whatever it means, it must be important to go to such lengths before blowing your brains out. This letter E must have some relevance. But what? Why hide these letters? With the rest of the text removed, the letter D marked something significant. The photograph was of an ancient clay tablet. Ganon had written on it. Someone, presumably Ganon, had taken the time to translate the inscription. At a glance, the inscription seemed to relate to the exploits of someone called the Sun King. She translates as Mountain Kingdom. Ganon had marked this symbol with the letter B. Nico!
What?
Is this what I think it is? It must be the Tabula Veritatis.
So Ganon did find it.
It's so small, so innocent looking. Why would Simeon call it evil? Why so many deaths for this?
And why go to such lengths to keep it hidden?
Unless it is as genuinely dangerous as Simeon claimed.
The question now is, what do we do with it? The long-dead remains of a person slumped over the table with a bullet hole in his skull. I guessed that finding the tabula was the easy part.
Figuring out its purpose was a different proposition. I wondered if Ganon's notes on the photograph might help me decode the tabula. The symbol G-ip-ku meant ending enemy people. According to Ganon's translation, this symbol is I-Ju-Lu, which means witnessing the start of Godhead. If Ganon's translation is correct, the symbol La-Ha-Shi represents the Sun City region. Ganon had marked this symbol in red with the letter A. I wondered if this Sun City place is the area marked B on Ganon's map. The symbol Ku-Is-I was translated as people, travel, look. Ganon had translated this symbol, Du-U, as 4 victories. Du-A-Shi apparently means the 2-river region. Apparently, the symbol Ib-On-Shi meant 3 kingdoms. If Ganon's translation is correct, the symbol La-Ha-Shi represents the Sun City region. Ganon had marked this symbol in red with the letter A. I wondered if this Sun City place is the area marked B on Ganon's map. If Ganon's translation is correct, the symbol La-Ji-Shi represents the Sunset Mountain. The symbol Zhu-Ha was translated as the young cities. Ganon had marked this symbol with the letter E. I wonder if it relates to the secret markings on Ganon's map. If the letter E matches the one on Ganon's translation, this must be the location of the young cities. If the letters match the ones on Ganon's translation, this must be the Mountain Kingdom. If this letter matched the one on Ganon's translation, this must be the location of the Sun City. If this letter is the same location as the one marked D on Ganon's translation, this must be Sunset Mountain. If this letter matched the one on Ganon's translation, this must be the location of the Three Rivers region. Ganon had translated this glyph, Ah-Shu, as Blood River. Du-Ah-Shi apparently means the Two River region. That was the first row of symbols cracked. It was all starting to make sense. The symbol Zhu-Ha was translated as the Young Cities. Ganon had marked this symbol with the letter E. I wonder if it relates to the secret markings on Ganon's map. If Ganon's translation is correct, the symbol Ka-Ip-Ha means burning enemy cities. If Ganon's translation is correct, the symbol La-Ha-Shi represents the Sun City region. Ganon had marked this symbol in red with the letter A. I wondered if this Sun City place is the area marked B on Ganon's map. Ganon had translated this symbol, Du-U, as 4 victories. So, these are directions. Begin at Sun City, travel 5 days east to a river, travel south 6 days through a desert to the source of 4 rivers. Hey, Nico! I've cracked it!
Fantastic!
The Tabula Veritatis. It's a set of directions. Take a look at this map. The inscription says to start here at Sun City. Ganon hid the location in his map. It then says to travel 5 days east to a river, then turn south and travel 6 days through a desert to the source of 4 rivers.
And what is that?
I'm not sure, but it must be important, right?
Right. Important enough for the Gnostics to try and keep it a secret for thousands of years. And guess what? I think I may have found a way out.
You have?
Look, while you were busy playing Ancient Scholar, I found this.
What did it do?
I'm not sure.
It didn't open the door.
Perhaps we're missing something.
Must be. If Ganon died looking for a way out, there has to be more to it than just a hidden button.
Then let's keep looking.